Legal work is complex. How they work with their clients is complex. It's unlike any other profession I've ever seen before. Well, AI is one of the ways that we can take some of the complexity that comes in, help simplify things, and then put that into a workflow that really kind of just streamlines the whole process.
From Aderant, this is Studio A, the podcast that helps legal professionals like you stay on top of trends and solutions that keep your law firm thriving. Welcome to Studio A, powered by Aderant. My name is Will Ayers, and this is the debut of Studio A on the 8th floor at Aderant's office in the ATL. And I have a special guest with me today, the one and only president and CEO of Aderant, Mr. Chris Cartrett. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Will. Doing very well.
Let's jump right in. You are an industry thought leader. Everyone knows Chris Cartrett. Everyone knows Aderant. Just take us through your journey as a legal tech professional, because the word on the street is that you've been in the industry for a while.
We're starting with an old man question. All right. So I have honestly been in legal tech for a very long time, like early 90s. Okay. So half our employees here weren't even born then. But it's funny, when I first started, we were doing legal research, walking into law firms with like milk crates of books to help them learn how to do research, basically. Then it kind of progressed into like some online research with Westlaw. Then it was like CDs. But what's been interesting, though, honestly, is like if you think about legal tech specifically, like just the niche itself, what's happened over the last 8 years is like it's really starting to advance and advance fast. There for a long time, law firms, they would do things or invest in things that would really help on the practice of law, like how a lawyer did their work, whether that be contract work, whatever else it is. They weren't really investing holistically about how you kind of create efficiency across the business. That's what's changed. And now you're seeing that really kind of take off.
Now, speaking of taking off, the industry is changing rapidly. There's been a lot of advancements around AI. From an industry standpoint, what excites you the most about artificial intelligence?
Well, I mean, look, the opportunities for all of us are endless, just in our own personal lives. But like inside legal, we have a lot of processes. There's just a lot of things that you do, and you're doing them on a regular basis. So what AI and machine learning, for that matter, really allow us the opportunity to do now is we're able to automate some of these processes that have just been incredibly manual for a really long time. And so you look at some of the companies like Thomson Reuters and Lexis, they're doing really great radical things for how you handle research or how you handle some of the practice of law. And then for those of us that work in the business of law, AI is allowing us to truly like come to the table and automate things that honestly, you had to throw bodies at in the past. Mm-hmm. And that was never efficient. It's never an effective way to kind of run a business. And so I'm feeling pretty good about how things are advancing right now. So
now, you mentioned some other companies that are making advancements in AI, but let's jump into what Aderant is doing around AI. We launched MADDI, our virtual associate. We launched Stridyn, our AI-driven cloud platform. And there's a lot going on internally as well as it pertains to the way that our support team is leveraging AI capabilities to be able to support our clients. Just talk about your vision and approach to testing those capabilities internally and scaling it out to our clients as well.
Yeah, so this has been like a major investment of ours across the board because we do believe that there's like a big opportunity. So MADDI really is made up of a lot of different type of AIs, depending on what the use case is for how we put it in there. When we came out with Onyx was about how do you automate rules and guidelines inside of a law firm. It's legal work is complex. How they work with their clients is complex. It's unlike any other profession I've ever seen before. Well, AI is one of the ways that we can take some of the complexity that comes in, help simplify things, and then put that into a workflow that really kind of just streamlines the whole process. Well, for us though, specifically with MADDI, when we look at AI, it can go so much further. So where we've been focused on lately is like, first off, internally, we found ways that it could generate answers to help our support team serve our clients better. So that's been a major investment over the last year and a half, with the ultimate goal being we're training the tech so we can ultimately hand it to our clients. Like in a perfect world, an Aderant client, whatever the product may be, can go to Ask MADDI and learn how they need to do certain things within the software without having to put in a support ticket or without having to reach out to somebody in professional services. And then where that goes from there is like next year we have a new GL tool coming out. Ask MADDI will be able to allow the finance professional to be able to ask questions of the application. So in other words, tell me what the data is for X. So look, we see this as an enormous opportunity just to create efficiencies across every single product that we have and actually enhance the experience of our clients. So we're very much heavily invested in AI.
Taking a deeper dive into that, something that you've talked about a lot is accelerating and elevating. And recently, Aderant hosted AI Week, where professionals across the industry, AWS, Microsoft, and a few others as well, they joined Aderant's thought leaders to take our employees through the capabilities of AI and different educational resources as well. Something that you talked about is upskilling your talent and educating people more around AI's capabilities and things that they can do to support their teams. Talk about AI Week and things and what that was and the vision for AI Week going forward.
Yeah, so if you're going to take something out to your clients, it might make sense it's something that you would do and use yourself. So one of our goals with AI Week here, I like how you said that actually. So we have our motto this year was accelerate and elevate. The accelerate was like we want to accelerate kind of our market position across all of our product lines. But the elevation was like when we look at our internal processes as a business, how our people do their jobs, we want to elevate how they're able to do that. Well, AI is one of those tools. So like literally one of the largest investments we made this year was actually being able to roll out AI tools across our teams. Our dev team has been able to do a lot with GitHub Copilot. They're heavily leveraging it, especially when it comes to test automation, especially when it comes to some of the code production that they're doing. But if you look across all the other teams, marketing, finance, whatever it may be, there are opportunities there for them to leverage Copilot to just do their daily job faster, better, cleaner, whatever it is. So AI Week was about really trying to help everybody overcome a little bit of the nervousness that kind of comes with AI. And so we did. We invested a week, brought in other people to help people get ideas. And that was just one week. We've actually got another week that'll be coming up here in a few months with the goal being like, hey, if you're a kid coming out of college today, you're actually learning and playing with AI right now. Mm-hmm. Well, for all of our employees here, we need to make sure that they're getting that same opportunity. So we think it's been successful. We're seeing some really good use cases. My COO now transcribes every freaking meeting that we do, and he's creating PowerPoints all the time. I don't know what that means, but it's actually been really good. And I think what I've enjoyed the most, as we trained people, the one thing that you started picking up on is then they started learning what use cases that they would like to have to kind of bring into their work. That all came because of that 1 week of training. Like before, they just didn't know what the capabilities were. Now you're seeing like exponential increase. So it's really good. It's really exciting.
Now you're seeing that increase internally. Yep. We're seeing it externally as well. Where do you see AI going from a market standpoint? Because things are moving very fast. Some law firms may be on the fence about adopting that technology, but where do you see this going? Because technically, we're still early on in the advancement of AI capabilities as it pertains to the way it's impacting the legal sector.
Yeah, so all right, so I'm one of those that actually believes this is kind of a disrupting technology for what we've traditionally done. Therefore, I think whether you're fighting against it or you're leaning into it, it's going to happen. So you might want to start getting your arms around it. The thing that I would tell you I've seen just inside law firms themselves, some law firms are really hesitant, but they're not hesitant in the way that they don't want to be innovative. They're hesitant in that they're trying to do the right thing by their client relationships and how, sometimes they can feel very protective of certain data points, whatever it is. On the other side, though, we have some law firms right now that are doing some pretty radical things. Like they're really trying to leverage AI in ways that create a better client relationship for themselves. My experience has been when the law firms are doing that kind of adoption or trying to innovate themselves, that actually creates opportunities for those of us that are software companies to then come alongside and truly, productize and make those like enterprise-wide applications that can serve the entire community. So, I mean, I guess really to answer your question, like I see this being something that's only going to exponentially gain. I do want to add this though. One of the things that's always funny to me is I hear all the negative stuff about, oh, will AI replace this job or will it replace this job? We went through this once before years ago when all this there's a lot of contract software out there that basically will kind of scan a contract, let you know crazy clauses, all this kind of stuff. And there are lawyers who became managing partners because they were so good at document review. Well, now document review is handled by technology. And I remember people were panicking that, oh my God, this is going to destroy the billable hour or this other problem is going to happen. That didn't happen. What happened is they became more efficient. They were able to serve their clients better. Law firms didn't start shrinking. They actually were able to leverage that for more strategic work, and they actually started growing. So whatever the end state will be with how AI impacts everybody, I don't know. But I will say this, though. I think it's only going to make it better. I really believe that.
I think that's a great bridge to my next question, making it better or creating an environment where it could be used more efficiently. What's your advice for legal tech companies or law firms that are interested in AI, but there's a roadblock there as it pertains to implementation and the way that they roll it out across their organization? Yeah,
so I don't know. I don't know that I'm the one to advise on that piece because, to me, there's enough today with the technology that you can pull in yourself and play with it in a private environment. And because that's what we did. That's literally where Onyx came from. It was a group of developers. We were able to partition something off. They were able to go play and start innovating. Out of that, we were able to build Onyx. So I think that's a lot of what you're starting to see within a lot of law firms. But I'll also say this, from legal tech companies, the security piece of a law firm is absolutely freaking critical. I mean, listen, you have foreign governments trying to hack these law firms because the data that they have is so incredibly important and so sensitive. So, when I hear the hesitancy or the residents, I understand that. I understand where that's coming from. But at the same time, there are smart ways of taking advantage of technology that help you overcome some of those security hurdles so that you can actually get the advantages that you need. I mean, Clifford Chance is one of the top law firms in the world. I think they rolled out Microsoft Copilot to every single one of their lawyers 7-8 months ago. They knew this is going to be a thing. It's going to have an impact. Here's how we can handle this. And I think you're going to see more and more firms doing that, like truly putting and throwing their arms around it because they understand the benefits it can have for their clients. So,
you touched on it a little bit, security, privacy, et cetera, data, et cetera. What is Aderant doing to protect the data of clients that may be leveraging our products or our AI capabilities?
Yeah, so, well, number one, we're spending an insane amount of money. I can tell you that much. The thing is, security is such an important part. We obviously have tried to invest more and more into our own tooling, into some of the other audits and things that we have across our products. Just the increasing, spend within our security teams. But I will tell you this, if I had to point to something that I've been the most pleased with, we have two big partnerships. One of those is with AWS, the other one's with Microsoft. They have been outstanding, in how they work with us on the products and applications that we have. I mean, AWS, our Sierra products are all managed through AWS. Our other kind of point solutions are all managed through Azure. And so both of them have been fantastic partners as far as tooling, helping us understand vulnerabilities that may out there. They've been great. The other one I do want to mention too, and this is something that I don't know that everybody always appreciates. So being a part of Roper is also a huge advantage that we have here at Aderant. I mean, Roper has an entire security team, right? So we are a $7 billion company. We've got, 28 kind of brands that we kind of go to market with. But having that Roper security audit and everything else that comes with that, where you're able to get best practices from a healthcare company or an insurance company or whatever else it may be, software company, actually helps us at Aderant kind of continue to move forward, where I think sometimes if you're a smaller player or you're, sometimes if you're within a private equity group, you may not have that kind of backing. And so I think that's been a big advantage for us. I think that's why our adoption of cloud products by our clients has been so high.
Now, we're entering Q4. It's been a huge year for Aderant. What can the industry expect from Aderant?
Yeah, knock on wood. It has been a really good year. I mean, we've been very blessed. We've been very fortunate, for how some of the products that we brought to market, how well they've been adopted, how people are starting to see a larger view of who Aderant is versus just one or two individual applications. I think first and foremost, for the things that we'll release that are coming up here in the next quarter, there are, you mentioned AI, there are a few AI, I'll add them as more machine learning tweaks that we're starting to add into products. As Stridyn continues to develop, that is also adding value back, especially when it comes to like inquiries or some of the reporting things, right, that people may want. But I think the biggest thing for us is just to continue to kind of focus in on performance, like how the products perform, because it's interesting. The complexities of our law firms is actually getting more complex every day. And so that means that the software has to become more agile, has to be able to do and manage more processes maybe than it traditionally had to have. And so that emphasis on this incredible performance within the applications themselves is what I'm hoping that everybody starts to see even more of in some of these upcoming releases. It's been a really good year. So we want to double down on making it great. So
now it's been an amazing year. Let's talk 2025 just a little bit before we close. What are you going to do as a leader or Aderant? What is Aderant doing to stay at the forefront of innovation? Because as you know, the industry as it pertains to AI is changing very rapidly. What are we going to be doing, or what is Aderant going to be doing going forward to make sure that they stay ahead of the curve?
Yeah, so I will tell you the number one thing is listen. Like, I mean that with all my heart. Things are changing and moving so fast. You have to constantly be educating yourself, and you need to be listening. Like, listen to what your clients are going through, because a problem that you may thought you were going to solve 3 years ago, that problem's changed. It's something totally different now. And so when it comes to innovation in general, there's an investment that we make so that people can play. Like, that's just a part of who we are. As part of our DNA is something we want our dev team and product teams to be able to do, to come up with new things that we can bring to our clients that will actually have an impact. But I would also argue, we had a meeting earlier today, just trying to talk through like some of the new problems that we're starting to see our clients experiencing with how they're managing their business or how they're serving their clients. And it was just a reminder for all of us that like, hey, we don't always know all the answers. We need to be listening as much as possible, because the more we listen, the more we understand really what's driving law firms. And then that helps us come up with better solutions for how they need to fix their problems.
Well, Chris, that was an amazing answer and a great way to close. Thank you for joining us today. And we look forward to you joining us again to talk more about AI and all of the amazing things that Aderant is doing.
Awesome, brother. Love it.
Thanks for listening to Studio A. For more from this episode, visit Aderant.com. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a beat, and we'll see you next time in Studio A.